cut the show. I'm done. Take me off.
Alright, guys and gals, today we're going to be talking about the ghosting epidemic and how to deal with it. So, what the heck is ghosting? In case you've been living under a rock, ghosting is when someone cuts all communication with you without any explanation. It could be a text that goes unanswered, a date that never happened, or just silence. It's worse than flaking. A person who's a little bad at keeping plans, fine. But ghosting is complete utter abandonment without any closure. No, hey, I'm not feeling it, or I'm going to something, it just poof and vanish. Ghosting is different than when our parents were young because all they did was just stop answering their phone and you probably never really see them again. But in today's age, in Gen Z, when you ghost someone, you constantly get reminded of that fumble you had of, man, this person ghosted me. It becomes awkward if you see them in person, especially at the gym or a public event or even at a party. It sucks. So, Gen Z is roughly born in 1997 to 2012. So, what's with the ghosting? Social media culture. You've probably seen the memes. Everyone glued to their phones 24/7, swiping, texting, and scrolling. This constant interaction creates a weird dignity closer. This feels real but isn't. We're growing up with texting and DMing, replacing face to face interaction, so ghosting just seems easier. It's almost like pulling a fast one without having to deal with real consequences. Number two, fear of commitment. Gen Z in general is more open about mental health and vulnerable when it comes to confrontation. We freeze saying something uncomfortable to someone, even just, I'm not into you, or I don't have time for this. It can feel awkward. Ghosting becomes the way to avoid that discomfort. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to feel guilty. It's like an escape from an uncomfortable situation, but in the long run, it's just damaging. Number three, short attention span and overwhelming by opinions. Gen Z is known for jumping from thing to thing when there is a side hustle, a new hobby, or even a relationship. With all these options at your fingertips, it's easy to just discard something or someone that doesn't immediately spark excitement. People will often ghost because someone else might caught their attention. Nothing personal. It's like dating apps where you swipe left and right without thinking too much about it. And sometimes those habits bleed into real life. Number three, the psychology effects of ghosting. Let's talk about the emotional and the psychology troll of ghosting. It takes both on the ghoster and the ghost. For the ghost, it's brutal. You live in a limbo, not knowing what went wrong or if you did something to deserve the silence. You replay every conversation wondering if you said something dumb. Maybe you start questioning yourself, your worth, your value, and your ability to communicate. The effects on the ghost. It can include anxiety, fear of overthinking, you don't trust anybody, you feel abandoned, and you feel like your worth is not good. On the flip side, for the ghoster, it doesn't feel as bad, but it's still a form of emotional avoidance. Sure, it feels easy in the moment, but if you constantly ghosting people, you're not practicing healthy communication. You avoid the discomfort of trust conversation, but it often leads to feeling of guilt and regret later. Plus, your relationships are shallow because you're never building real emotion, intimacy. And if everyone's ghosting, it becomes harder to feel any real connection with anybody. Number four, why is it so common in Gen Z dating culture? First, dating apps had made relationships feel disposable. You're literally swiping through hundreds of people, and one doesn't immediately give you butterflies. Second is situationships. Those non commit, low pressure situationships breed ghosting. You've been texting, hanging out, but no one ever really defines what's going on. No one calls each other boyfriend or girlfriend. When things don't feel solid, it's easy for people to just disappear without any official ending or ending things. And third is emotional detachment. Because of how much we've been exposed to dating culture and short term on apps, it's easy to treat people like temporary entertainment. The emotional investment isn't there because we used to fast fleeting connections. Ghosting is not just also in like dating relationships. It can also happen in work relationships. It isn't just limited in personal lives, like job candidates are often ghosted after interviews, or even worse, they don't hear back after applying to a position for months. On the flip side, employers might ghost candidates after a few rounds of interviews, leave them in a limbo. Ghosting is work. Alright, so now we're going to talk about how to deal with ghosting and avoid it. Be honest, even if it's awkward. If you're not feeling it, hey, don't need to make a light excuse to say, I'm not interested, or I think it's time to move on. Respectfully, of course. Also, don't take it personally. If you're the one getting ghosted, don't antagonize. It's a reflection on the person, not you. Don't be afraid to ask for closure. If you're left hanging, it's okay. Follow up with a simple text like, hey, I noticed we haven't talked in a while, just wanted to check in, and then respond, that's their answer, and you move on. Also, set boundaries. Communication is key. If someone ghosts you, let them know. That's not acceptable behavior. Please respect boundaries when they're clear. Also, seek healthy connections. Instead of being forced or avoiding ghosting, focus on building meaningful relationships whenever it's romantic, platonic, that are built to further your mutual respect to the other person. So that is the snoop of Gen Z ghosting epidemic. It's a sign how we communicate in a digital age. Doesn't mean we're all doomed to disappear from each other's lives forever. Definitely not. The key is fixing this. Being real, being honest, and believe it or not, being brave enough to have those uncomfortable conversations. The next time you think about ghosting, maybe take a second to think about how you want to be treated and make a different choice. But thanks for watching. If you relate to this, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more real talk on this topic. Catch you in the next one. Peace. Have a great day. And remember to stay safe.